More than 2 years after her visit to Taiwan made China breathe fire, Nancy Pelosi is poking the dragon all over again. The former US House Speaker, along with the Congressional Delegation, met Tibetan spiritual leader the Dalai Lama at his home in Himachal Pradesh's McLeodganj. And even as China warned against the visit, Pelosi once again played with fire.
His Holiness the Dalai Lama, with his message of knowledge and tradition and compassion and purity of soul and love, he will live a long time and his legacy will live forever. But to you, President of China, you'll be gone and nobody will give you credit for anything.
The visit aside, another bone of contention is the Resolve Tibet Act, which was passed by the US Congress. This bill challenges Beijing's claim that Tibet has always been a part of China and calls on China to stop spreading false information about Tibet's history, its people and institutions, including the Dalai Lama. It also calls on Beijing to resume talks with Tibetan leaders, which has been halted since 2010. It also urges China to address the desires of the Tibetan people concerning their historical, cultural, religious and language identity. The bill has to be signed by the US president before it is made into a law, and the delegation assured that Biden would do it.
Because this bill is a message to the Chinese government that we have clarity in our thinking and our understanding of this issue of the freedom of Tibet. And Mr. Meeks, who's the leader of our delegation and the leader of the Foreign Affairs Committee, was so masterful in not only the policy, but in the process of getting it passed in the most bipartisan way.
And this world belongs to humanity.
China officially refers to Tibet as Xizang and claims it has been a part of the country since ancient times. Beijing vowed to defend its sovereignty and urged the US to adhere to its commitments of recognizing Xizang as part of China. The Dalai Lama escaped to India in 1959 following an unsuccessful rebellion against Chinese control in Tibet. Chinese authorities oppose any meetings he holds with officials from other nations. Beijing calls the Nobel Peace Laureate a dangerous separatist. China claims the Dalai Lama is not a pure religious figure, but a political exile engaged in anti-China separatist activities. On his part, the 88-year-old maintains that he does not advocate for Tibetan independence, but rather he seeks autonomy that would allow Tibetans to maintain their culture, their language and religion. Adding fuel to fire, the Biden administration has approved a new $360 million weapons sale to Taiwan, sending the island hundreds of armed drones, missile equipment, a move which is bound to irk China. Beijing claims Taiwan is part of its territory and has vowed to consolidate it by force if necessary. Taiwan has been a key flashpoint between China and the US, and here too, the common link is Pelosi. After her historic visit to Taiwan in 2022, China responded by launching military drills near Taiwan and called off talks with the US. They only resumed when Chinese President Xi Jinping and Biden met in November 2023. But China maintains that it will never compromise on Taiwan and has urged the US to stop arming the island. So will Washington's Tibet and Taiwan moves spell double trouble for US and China ties?